Hey, don't judge me by my I don't know. I know you said that. Oh.
How you doing? Good. No more trees coming down? We started to have that one big one right between walls. But nothing was as cool as Schippers. Oh, you're kidding. Oh. It's like an instant. Yeah. Exactly. Oh, really? Yeah. Cody?
We talked 2 or 3 times. And we are but
my name's Steve Birdwell. I'm going to start this off. I will introduce you to the rest of my crew that kind of put this together after everything's over with. Right now, this is called the Red, White, and Blue Debate. It is put on by veterans of Cadillac, all kinds of them. I am missing one. Mr. Hall passed away. He was one of my good friends, good people, so I'm doing this for him. Would you all stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Sitting at the desk is Josh Remy. He's our timekeeper. We have a timekeeper because we want to keep this as short as possible. All the candidates know the rules. They all got the same thing in the mail. Just had a short meeting outside. At this time, I'm going to turn this over to our mediator. Moderator. I can never pronounce that for some reason. Anyway, you know who I'm talking about. Mr. Ray Moore is from Lake City, Missaukee County. We try to pick somebody outside the county to do this job. He is also, at this time, American Legion State Commander. So, Ray, it's yours.
Thanks, Steve. I want to thank you all for being here. This is a nice turnout. I ran for office a number of years ago, and I don't think I had that many people show up when I was there, but I think it was because I was there. Just real quick, I want to run down the rules here so everybody knows what's going on. The moderator, that would be me, will be the only one that will address the candidates. We ask that those of you in the audience please refrain from throwing out any questions or statements so we can get through this as quickly as possible and give them the opportunity to give complete answers. The candidates will get 1 minute for an opening to introduce themselves, and at the end of their going through their questions, they will get 1 minute for a closing statement. They will get 1 1/2 minutes to answer each question. The timer will warn them and me when the time is starting to expire. When they get down to 10 seconds left, there will also be a warning so that they will know that it's time to wrap it up. If they don't, we'll turn on the microphone. No, maybe we will. Each candidate will be given equal time, so interruptions by another candidate are not warranted. Please allow whoever's speaking the courtesy to be able to speak. The purpose of the debate is to hear the candidates and not have influences from the crowd. There will be no verbal reactions from the crowd during the debate or in response to the candidates' answers. Candidates will be seated in their seats and ready to go, and they have already been informed of the rules. They've all got those earlier. We will start as quickly as I get done talking here. And there will be no literature inside or on the way in or on the way out. Once we're all done and everybody leaves, whatever you want to do outside will be up to you. But the purpose of this debate inside here is to be able to listen to them and get their answers to whatever questions they're broached to. There will be no debate of the rules. We've already talked all those over. There are no changes to be done. There are 15 questions that are in sealed envelopes. We have 3 sealed envelopes. There are 5 questions for the candidates for each of the offices, 2nd, 4th, and mayor. Both candidates will be allowed to respond to the questions. They're a minute and a half, and then we'll move to the next question. I will. So, having said all of that, everybody understands where we're going. Let's keep it nice and friendly out there. Let's keep it nice and friendly up here. And with your permission, I'll go over here and see if I can find an envelope that has a question in it. And since all of you are going to be able to sit down, excuse me for having my back to you. Okay, if we could have the candidates for the 2nd ward position. Our incumbent is Ms. Schippers, who would like to take position, and the challenger is Don Jones. Don, if you would like to take the position. For those of you that are in the audience and are not familiar with, on my left, your left, is the incumbent 2nd Ward Representative, Schippers, and on the right is the challenger, Don Jones. So we have 5 envelopes with 5 questions in them. Ready to see those? Yeah, we'll just grab one here.
Do we introduce ourselves first? The question.
Yes, you will have 1 minute to give your say hello. So, Madam Incumbent, if you would like to introduce yourself.
My name's T.I. Schippers, Antoinette Schippers. I've lived in Cadillac since 1985. Raised 4 children here. When I first moved to Cadillac, I taught at St. Anne's. I've been teaching for 32 years. I've been on council for 1 term, 4 years. I found it fascinating and challenging and heart-wrenching at times. But I feel like the work that I've been doing there is something that is worthwhile. I feel that I bring a voice of reason. I feel like I can bridge different sides. I'm not a member of one side or another. In issues, I look at the issues, and then I try to make decisions based on the merits of those issues. And I would like to keep doing that for the City of Cadillac. Thank you.
Mr. Jones.
Good evening. I'd like to thank the Concerned Veterans Committee for the opportunity to address some of the issues concerning the city. To tell you a little about me, I started with nothing. I've been a businessman in Cadillac for over 40 years. I lived in the City of Cadillac for almost 20 years. And as a businessman, I've had to solve problems, negotiate contracts, and make financial decisions that have provided for my family and the 4 businesses that I have successfully run. To make all those decisions, you have to have a clear view of the problem, gather the information, make the decision, take action, and move forward. As a result, you'll find that I'm concise with my answers and actions. If you're waiting for a long-winded answer from me, you should probably bring a lunch. I'd like to bring my experience and the ability to look at situations through the eyes of a businessman to contribute to council reaching decisions that will keep our city running efficiently and growing. Thank you.
Thank you. Are you ready? Mr. Jones, the first question is for you. Do you think it would be advantageous to the city to place more security cameras in the downtown area?
I do not think so. I haven't seen a reason for that. The only reason I can think of would be for possible traffic control or accidents. The crime rate downtown is nothing to be concerned about, and that, as far as I'm concerned, that impinges on our freedoms. I don't like being listened in on. I don't like having cameras where they don't need to be. That would be my position in that matter.
Ms. Schippers, the same question. Do you think it would be advantageous to the city to place more security cameras in the downtown area?
Well, the purpose of security cameras is to make sure that citizens are safe. We have had some issues in the park with some vandalism and some other things of that nature. We do have some cameras down in the park. I got to say that the cost of these things is shocked me at how much it costs to put these in. So, judging the cost and the benefit, I think that a better way to keep tabs on things in our city is to do it ourselves, each other, neighbors. Keep your eyes open, and if you see somebody that looks like they need help, step in and do that. I think that's a way more cost-effective than any other thing to do.
Thank you. Mr. Jones. I'm sorry. T.I. What could the city do to get more local expansion of its city-owned TV station for public use?
I don't know. I know that people who have cable can get the channel for the city. I know, once again, that would be a huge cost. I would love to see that expanded. I know my son doesn't have cable. He lives here in town. He works at the bike shop. Both of my sons work at the bike shop here in town. And he's always asking me what's going on at city council because he would love to be able to see those meetings, but he's got 1-year-old twins. And I wish there was a way. I do not know how that could happen. I bet there are people who do, though. And if that's something that folks are really interested in, that's something we can definitely pursue.
Mr. Jones, the same question of you. What could the city do to get more local expansion of its city-owned TV station for public use?
Well, perhaps the city could collaborate with other cities, particularly in this area. We have so much to offer. We could promote our recreational activities, our industrial capabilities, which are many, and do a lot to promote the city that way. I think there are so many things that people would love to come up here for. If we could show activities that we have, perhaps a calendar of events, snowmobiling. We have many events in the winter, and if we could have a venue to get those farther out to reach more people, it might be a good use of a television station. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Jones, how could the council be more involved with the homeless veterans in the city?
Well, I'm not sure what programs the city itself would have to offer, but they could be in a position to coordinate and help fill the needs of the homeless veterans by directing them to the proper organizations.
homelessness is a true and growing problem. In our community, we do have some things available for folks who are homeless. As a matter of fact, the New Hope Shelter here in town, the homeless shelter, my husband and myself and some other friends helped get that started many years ago. And my husband for years was the director of that. We did our Thanksgiving dinners there with our children as they were growing up. So I do understand the issues of homelessness. As far as what the city can do, and I think we do this, the law enforcement is aware of the resources available. So if there is someone who is homeless and who needs help or is seen on the street, I know our officers help get them to the place that they need to go. There's links for help on the website. There's also you folks, you veterans organizations that I know are extremely active in our community. And that's not the city council doing something, but I think the city council is just a small part of this community, or the city itself is a small part of this community. So often we think that the city should do something about this when really it's all of us that can do something about this. That New Hope Shelter got started when we saw someone sleeping in boxes behind the Kmart, and within 6 months had it opened, supported by the churches of the community. So there is that.
Thank you. Ms. Schippers, the fourth question comes to you. Is there any sight of having a public safety director or keeping the two-chief system?
Would you repeat that, please?
Is there any sight of having a public safety director or keeping the two-chief system?
I'm not sure I understand.
I think they're looking for whether or not there's going to be some change in
two
the
chiefs
current.
or public safety. Well, the study that the city did set forth a system that was like optimal, and then one we could afford. And right now we're operating out of the one that we can afford. A public safety director sort of unifies things. Myself, I think that is the best way to go, because I remember, one of the big problems in New York when the trade towers went down is the two companies had different channels. They weren't communicating with each other. There's always benefit when there's somebody that really knows both departments and can be a liaison with all of public safety. Having said that, adding another very expensive personnel to the city is at this time probably not feasible. Our police officers and our firefighters are doing double duty. They're working extra hard to keep things running smoothly, trying to communicate with each other, and our city manager is sort of making sure that things are happening between those two. I would someday, when we get the funds we deserve here in Cadillac, like to see it move through public safety.
Thank you. Mr. Jones, same question for you. Is there any sight of having a public safety director or keeping the two-chief system? And again, I think we're looking at what is the direction that you would think where they should go.
Well, the city council has been working to save money wherever it can. It's looking at different departments and has combined some where there were redundant services, and has saved the city a considerable amount of money. And I think we're probably looking at the same situation here, where we're not a big city, we're a small town, and our fire chief and our chief of police communicate freely. I think to have a safety director would be redundant and use up funds that could be used elsewhere very well.
Thank you. Mr. Jones, what is your thoughts of curing the problem of large groups of kids hanging out downtown and in the parks?
Well, that's really already been addressed by council to have more police presence, and that we did have a big problem with that this last summer, and that's been taken care of. Finding more interesting things for the kids to do could be a big part of it. For instance, I'm the president of the Northern Lights Flying Club, and take young people. We've already taken probably 30 or 40 of them and given them plane rides to see if we can get them interested in flying. And we bought a plane and a kit. We're going to build a hangar, and we're trying to get the young people involved in that. That will help some to get them off the streets, and perhaps there could be other programs developed like that that would garner their interest.
Thank you. Ms. Schippers, same question. What is your thoughts of curing the problem of large groups of kids hanging out downtown and in the parks?
First of all, I'm sure there are those who will not like my answer, but I love that there are large groups of children hanging out in our parks and in our downtown area. I would like it to not become a problem by having them engaged and directed. When there are children that are causing problems, definitely stop it. And we did that this summer with the city. But when there are children hanging out in the parks, when I walk down there and when we're down in the park, my husband teaches night school in credit recovery at Cooley School. And some of those really scary kids are his students. And wherever we walk, it's like, hey, Mr. B, and we'll stop and talk to them. And we'll stop and visit with them and smile, make eye contact. A kid that you engage on the street is probably not going to cuss at you or stick their foot out to block you if you go say, what a beautiful day, it's nice to see you out here. So just like I would do that to any of you in this room, I challenge us as a community of adults to pull our children in. I also would love to see the City Council of Cadillac form a youth council working with the high school and engage our young people in the process so that when these problems come up, it isn't always us doing stuff to them, that they can be involved in helping solve these problems. So that would be one of my hopes sometime in the future, to have a youth council.
Thank you. That concludes the 5 questions that we have for each of you. At this time, I would ask if we could have closing statements, beginning with you.
Thank you very much. Thank you all for coming, and thanks to the concerned veterans. The veterans in our community have done so much for this community, and sitting on council, I see that regularly, the things coming forward to us. So here's another example of your ongoing citizenship. I commend you. I thank you very much. I also thank all of you folks who came out concerned, wanting to find out a little bit about us. I'd also like to thank my opponent, Mr. Jones. It's not an easy thing to step up and put yourself out there. One of the things that my dad told me many years ago is if you're not taking any arrows, you're probably not out in front far enough. So I thank you, Mr. Jones, for stepping up, and I wish you all the best. And it's been a pleasure to serve. I ask for your vote. I would love to continue that. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Jones?
Thank you, Ms. Schippers. I enjoyed hearing your answer. Very good. A little more about my background. Since I didn't have the opportunity to finish high school or attend college, I went right to work. I then enlisted in the service, where I earned my high school diploma through a GED process. Even though I learned about history in school, I developed a deeper appreciation for our exceptional country while in the service. It makes me angry to see the way our country's greatness is sinking deep in debt and ignoring the Constitution. Except for my one vote, I felt helpless to correct the problems in Washington and help to make it run efficiently again. But being an experienced businessman, I can contribute to our city residents by seeking ways to lower property taxes, cut utility bills, and save tax dollars by competitive bidding for contracts. If elected, you'll find that I answer my phone or I will return your voicemail. I'll look forward to your input. Please don't consider me the guy to call at 3 a.m.
Thank you very much, both of you. Best of luck in the I suspect that the citizens of Cadillac are going to have fun. Before I go any further and introduce the next candidates, I'd like to ask all the veterans in the room to rise. All right, I'd like
First I want to say thanks for this invitation to the Veterans of America. I really appreciate coming up here. I appreciate all the people that came up too. The main question I had when I was campaigning from door to door is saying, who is Pat Vaughan? Well, I lived and worked in this area since 1972. I graduated from Cadillac High since 1975. I've been in industrial distribution sales for about 20 years. I've also am an Air Force veteran, long list, where my father and my brothers also were veterans. Well, I wanted to get involved. I was tired of big government. Not saying that the city's like that, but I got tired of big government, so I wanted to get more involved as opposed to just being a voter. And I see that all of you want to be involved also. And I thank you for coming out and listening.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Mellema, would you like to make a short introduction?
Yes. I'm Douglas W. Mellema, but first of all, before I get going, I want to thank the veterans for holding this debate. It's long overdue. It's important that the public get a chance to meet us. I know as an incumbent, you see us every 2 weeks, but it's important in the democratic process that you get a chance to hear our opponent and what the issues are. I'm 67, moved here in 1970, got a bachelor's and a master's. I have 3 children, 5 grandchildren. I worked for 34 years at the Career Tech Center, 32 years as president of the Manufacturers Association, or excuse me, of the Cadillac Area College Consortium. 2 years as director of Kirtland Community College, 4 years as Baker. I started Baker College here. 19 years as president of the manufacturers, and 42 years total. That makes me about 150. But that's 42 years of volunteering.
Thank you. Excuse me. Our first question, and I'm going to direct this to Mr. Vaughan. Begin. What could the council do to make sure the veterans' monuments in the city are better taken care of?
Well, I was excited when I saw the wall come to Cadillac, so people could experience that. I experienced that in Washington, D.C., and it was a great experience when it's here in Cadillac. I'd like to see more monuments and dedications to our veterans. I think the veterans in our country really haven't been appreciated. I believe it's changing, and I think people are appreciating our veterans a lot more. I can remember when I was in the service, I've heard that people, when they came out of the Vietnam War, they were actually cursed at as they served their country. And as they laid their lives down, they came back to home, and all people did was curse at them. When I was in service in '83, it was a little bit better, but not much better. But I think there's a huge appreciation for what people are doing, and anything we can do to help the veterans and show them appreciation and give them signification is great. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Mellema, same question. What could the council do to make sure the veterans' monuments in the city are better taken care of?
First of all, bringing the wall was phenomenal. That was probably one of the greatest experiences that I've observed in Cadillac, and when the whole city came out. Now, as far as the keeping track of what's going on with our other veteran monuments, we have a maintenance department, and that's one thing that needs to be brought to our attention. I was not aware that there is a problem. If there is a problem, it needs to be addressed.
disqualified.
Answering that. I would say that's something we could consider. I would think that we do evaluate taxes on a hardship basis, and I think that would be probably the most equitable way of dealing with it. I do know that we, as a city, take those considerations, economic situations, into consideration, and we certainly would not want somebody to do without utilities because of that. There are many organizations within the community that could assist, and I'm sure that we would work with that particular individual or family or group of retirees or senior citizens in that matter.
Thank you. Mr. Vaughan, same question. What are your thoughts of setting an age in which senior citizens get a break on their water bill rates?
I believe any break we can give the senior citizens would be great, not just on water, but your heat, your electric. Most of our senior citizens are on a fixed income. About the time they pay for rent, or they're just about out of money then. I know I live in Pheasant Ridge Modular Home Community, and there's quite a few senior citizens in there, and I know quite a few that after they pay their lot rent, they got very little to even feed themselves. And unfortunately, a lot of them also got to worry about medications and health care and everything else. So water, although is important, is pretty minor compared to all those other things.
Thank you. Excuse me. Mr. Vaughan, what is your opinion about permanently closing Lake Street for better park use?
I don't think it's been a hindrance to people. Most of the time, the Lake Street is closed just in the park area. I believe that we've had great events when it comes to the park area. I believe we're going to have even more. I know the city is looking at enhancing the park area even more, maybe having stadium-style seats. It's great when the whole community can get together on these different events. So I don't believe it's a hindrance in blocking the Lake Street. Or even last week, even during the Moonlight Madness Festival, they blocked down the Main Street, and I thought that worked out pretty well. Weather wasn't great, but I don't think it was a huge hindrance to people.
Thank you. Seems like they would have given me a letter open this now. Oh, did I miss you?
Yep.
I'm sorry. That's why
I
we
thought I was just being ignored. I thought I was home.
I apologize. I got your name written right there. Mr. Mellema, what is your opinion about permanently closing Lake Street for better park use?
We spent a great deal of time discussing this on our council meetings, and we always make sure that the police are involved. We get their recommendation. We get the various parks personnel involved, and we always weigh those decisions. As far as the activities themselves, they are a great benefit to the community, to the downtown, and to our area. They enrich us with culture. They enrich us, allow people to socialize, to enjoy the lakes, to enjoy the park area down there, and I have not seen it as a problem, and we have not heard that it was a problem. In fact, we consistently hear that we would like to have more activities in the park and enjoy our, where else is there a city that's on a lake? Let's enjoy it.
Thank you.
young people, the better it is. The worst thing in working with teenagers for 34 years is give them time on their hands. And anytime you can enrich in their lives and use up that clock, and it's to our benefit, not only today, but also in the future.
Thank you. Mr. Vaughan, same question. Should the city have plans for using any of its parks or vacant property to set up more kids or family use projects?
Well, I'm definitely for anything that would promote family. My platform probably is to promote family and faith for the most part. If I got a legacy that I love is that I have a great family, a great marriage, my kids, my grandkids. That's a legacy. That's what life is all about, is the family. So anything we can do to help the families and promote more family activities is great. I know for our youth, we can get them some more things to do. I think there's quite a bit of things out there to do with our sports activities and stuff, but I heard it talk about a YMCA center. I can remember when I was a high schooler and they had that YMCA sitting here in the town of Cadillac. Everybody got down there and met with each other. It wasn't just to get out of the house, but it was get together with friends and play games and spend time together. And I thought it was a great thing to have in the city, and I'd like to see it happen even more. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Mellema, what is your opinion of the downtown festivals and the way they are operated?
I think the Visitors Bureau and people who are involved with that, the veterans who work with the Visitors Bureau, have done an excellent job. In fact, one of my answers in the paper today was I would give them an A+. I've never seen more activities, more things going on, festivals in the downtown area in my, since 1970, I can't remember. More people involved. I think it's excellent. And like I said before, it enriches our community culturally. It allows people to communicate, to talk, to socialize. It just brings people together. And more festivals, I'm open to those. And I know the council is too.
And that completes our 5 questions for the Oh, I gotta get to you this time.
Moderator has to be fair.
We're equal opportunity here, you know? All right, I'm sorry, Mr. Vaughan. What is your opinion of the downtown festivals and the way they are operated?
Well, I'm glad to see the festivals. I know the business owners are excited when they see the festivals open up. It opens up people to come down and experience business and experience community again. When I consider the community of Cadillac, I consider it broader than just the city, all the way from Boone Road, north, south, east, and west. I'm excited to live in it. I love the big stores that we got out there in Herring Township, but I also like the way the city is set up with their specialty stores and their specialty shops and their hometown-friendly status. And I think we should have more festivals throughout the city.
Thank you. All right, that completes the 5 questions. Thank you both for your answers, and at this point, I would like to ask Mr. Vaughan if you have some closing statements.
Yes, thank you. Again, thank you for this invitation, this opportunity to talk. I know there's a lot of issues that are important to people, a lot of things to consider. Like I say, mine started in politics when I was starting big government. I wanted to get involved. So I started going to city meetings and city planning meetings and board of education meetings, get more involved. Even when I started voting, I started getting more educated when I voted. I wanted to believe that my vote counts. And I want you to believe that also, that your vote does count. They say that there's voter apathy, especially when you're not in a presidential election year. They say less than 20% of the people would vote. Maybe that's what we have here right now. But I'm happy that you guys are involved, and I encourage everybody to get out and vote. It's important. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Mellema, do you have any closing statements?
Yes. saves them thousands and thousands of dollars. I can't imagine a business not bidding things out. And we now do that in the city. Charter, we have not violated the charter. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you both for your responses, and hopefully everybody out there got to hear all the answers eventually.
We're here tonight for their service to our country. It's been my privilege to be your mayor for the last 6 years. I believe that Cadillac is heading in the right direction. Our city is breaking records in the industrial sector. We're going to have over $15 million of investment in a 12-month period. We do have more than 4,000 jobs. They've doubled. We have a regional economic development plan, a job creation plan in place to attract new businesses in Cadillac and Wexford County. Folks, the city's moving forward. I have 18 years of experience as a public official, 11 years on city council, 7 on a county board. I believe in open, honest, and citizen-friendly government. I believe I have proven I have the integrity, the knowledge, and dedication to continue leading Cadillac over the next 2 years.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Filkins.
Good evening. My name is Carla Filkins, and I'd first like to say thank you to the concerned veterans of Cadillac for hosting this opportunity for us. I am the mother of an active United States Marine Sergeant. Our family has a strong military attachment. My brother and my brother-in-law are both retired commanders with the U.S. Navy. My father-in-law is a retired Navy captain. Another brother and brother-in-law served with the Navy. I have 3 nephews, one in the Air Force, one in the Army, and one in the U.S. Marine Corps. My stepfather, Bill Mungar, served in the Air Force. Last spring, he passed away, and our ceremonial honor guard assisted us with laying him to rest, and I want you all to know how much that meant to our family and having that service in the community. Thank you.
Thank you. I get it right that time? Are we doing okay so far? I got through the opening statements. Let's see if we can do questions. Okay. So, Mr. Mayor, what would you like to see the council do to be more active in the local veterans activities?
Okay. We have been very active, actually. We were part of the moving wall that came to town. I've had a very close relationship with the veterans in this community, had much of their support. I've appreciated that relationship more than any that I've had with any group of citizens in the city of Cadillac. I'd like to bring that on to our council. Our council is very veteran-friendly. They recognize them. They pay attention to them. They appreciate them. We have been going head over heels for veterans. Again, the Vietnam moving wall ceremony, the people giving back ceremony as well. 2 things that the city's supported. We have monuments. We'd like to keep track of them, keep better care of them. And we have paid a lot of attention to veterans. I think we've changed the way veterans are looked at in northern Michigan. We are a leader in northern Michigan, and our council deserves a lot of credit for that. The veterans groups that have worked with us do as well. But I couldn't be more proud to be a part of a council that supports veterans and has made veterans in the forefront in our community. They really have since I've become mayor. That's the first group I've reached out to with the Legion at the AMFETs and throughout our community. It's just been a wonderful pleasure to meet these folks. I have veterans in my family as well, and it's a heritage that we share. It's something I hope to keep working on and to make even better as we move forward in the next 2 years.
Thank you. Ms. Filkins, same question. What would you like to see the council do to be more active in the local veterans activities?
Well, I think that the things that are going on in the community with the veterans are really good. I did have some conversation with Bill Buell to prepare for this evening to understand the things that were going on in the community with the veterans. One of the things that came to my mind was that we need to spend time with the veterans and understand how perhaps we can bring some of those services closer to home for them. I think that there are a lot of resources available to them, but it requires them to travel away, and one of the things that I think we can do here is to understand how can we better serve them locally.
Thank you. Ms. Filkins, as long as we've got you up here, why don't we go with, is there any thought of the city ever partnering
relationships with the surrounding townships and with the counties so that we can look at resources like the WEX and figure out how we can keep that facility in this community. It's very important, and they've had struggles along the way in the county with it, but I look at it and I think that if all parties came together, can we be creative? Can we look for grants? Can we change the management of it or sharing the management of it to make it more viable for the community so that we have it here for the hockey team and the community organizations that need a facility that big?
Thank you. Mr. Barnett, same question. Is there any thought of the city partnering into the WEX?
Thank you. There has been discussion of this for many years. The WEX holds a special spot in my heart. It came when I was about graduating in high school around 1977. I saw my son play hockey in that facility for 7 years, 7 of the best years of his life. I know how important that facility is for the youth of our community. I know how it is for our community events that we've had there. It's very important. It's a place for us to hold events that we could hold nowhere else. We're already paying our 1/3 taxes toward the WEX. We're 1/3 of the county approximately. We pay 25% of the county taxes already. We're already paying towards that facility. We have had discussions in the past about what's going to happen when the millage runs out. It looks like it's set for closure at this point. There's some folks sitting in our crowd tonight that helped bring our WEX here. I'm very proud to have them here tonight. This has been a successful facility. We cannot lose it. The city is always willing to sit down with any group, with any other government, and discuss things. We are paying our fair share already toward it. We are in closer proximity, and it does cause problems for those that live farther away that think we're getting a special benefit. Our citizens have supported this facility. We voted for the millage. We carried the millage, actually. So I know our public is behind it 100%, and I see the benefits of it. I would be willing to sit down with the county as we have with other issues to try to get things on track and to continue going.
Thank you. Mr. Barnett, what are your thoughts about the city annexation to the Terry D. Corporation development?
Okay, there's 2 thoughts. One, we need jobs in this community. This is a matter, I have a conflict. I have 20 acres of property very close to that, and they're going to extend this property further. And I'm just going to tell you both sides of it. There are township feelings. They don't want to have that. Townships have made an attempt to stop this from happening. There are 500 jobs, though, that would benefit our city. It would expand our tax base. It would allow, hopefully, to have our taxes lowered. It is a very contentious issue, and the townships are very upset about this proposal. They'd rather have development at the first and third, I'll call it exits, on exit 131. Those are our traditional business exits. Our city has bent over backwards to work with Terry D. Terry D. wants to do business in the City of Cadillac. You may hear otherwise, and that's not true with a lot of businesses. They want to do business here, and I think we do owe them a duty to at least sit down with them, talk to them about it, and see if it will work. I do have a conflict of interest by owning property. I've recused myself, so I'm going to try to be even on this because I have a council member or 2 or 3 in the House tonight, and I don't want to influence them. I have remained silent on this, but it is an important issue for our growth, for our business. It's also something I think we need to take into consideration, the feelings of the neighbors that live out there, the folks in the township that would also be affected by this major development.
Thank you. Ms. Filkins, same question. What are your thoughts about city annexation to the Terry D. Corporation development?
I certainly think that it's something that the city needs to be involved in. The revenue base in Cadillac, the only way that the city is going to be able to continue to grow and the possibility of lowering taxes is to increase that revenue base. By going ahead and working with the Terry D. developers, it allows us the opportunity to have some say-so over what they're doing and what they're putting out there at the property. So I support that.
Thank you. Ms. Filkins, what do you see as goals the city should look towards during your term as mayor?
My hope is that as we move into the future and we think about the Cadillac that we want to have here for our children, that we become a neighborhood with our townships and with our county, and that we start working more together and get rid of the divisiveness that has plagued us for many years, many years actually. And so my hope is to be able to come to the table and agree to disagree on things that are going on, but I also believe that we need to be honest with ourselves and we need to be honest with each other and look for opportunities, not just for the city of Cadillac, but the surrounding areas. We need to look for the opportunities just like any business in Cadillac or any business in the city of, in the state of Michigan, so that we can continue to grow and be viable for our children and our grandchildren.
Thank you. Mr. Barnett, what do you see as goals the city should look towards during your term as mayor?
Three primary goals. Starting off with marketing industry. Industry's been on fire in our community. We are back. We've doubled our jobs since our recession. We are at 4,000 jobs in the industrial sector. It's historic. It's never happened, not to grow to this level, this fast, this much investment. Industry has a wide open territory for us. We have a wide open industrial park that can be developed, should be developed. It's been there since the year 2000. We're past that point where industry and manufacturing was in a gray area and had a question mark on it. Was it going to continue? Were there going to be investments? Were those jobs going to be there for us? They are. We have a way, and we should work it to improve, market, and get our industry opportunities out there. Bring more companies to Cadillac. Have a business-friendly atmosphere. We're doing that as we act as city council members, as our staff does. We've been very pro-business. We want more business here. When business comes in, our tax base is going to go up. Your taxes should go down. I think we should get Cadillac West going like it was when I was a youth. It's a tragedy that it hasn't kept going. It's gone downhill. We have a new corridor improvement district out there where taxes will be put into that area, and any improvements and those monies will go to help Cadillac West become what it used to be. The Borswood property, we need to expand out in that area for at least the city side of it. And those opportunities are there. Yet another investor who wants to do business in Cadillac.
Thank you. Mr. Barnett, what would you think about the city donating or helping with the Wexford County Soldiers and Sailors Relief Fund on an annual basis?
Thank you. I served on the county commission for 7 years, and that's one of the things that our clerk, our county board did, was there, and it did make donations. When soldiers would pass away, veterans would pass away, and their families were grieving, something very important happened. The county would step up and pay a portion of the funeral costs. This is an important act. It is in place for those types of things. I would have absolutely no problem. I'll do anything I could for any veteran, any supporter of our country, anyone who served our country, and many are here tonight, and I'd like to thank you for your service again. But that act and its applicability, applicable to our city, as just as it is to our county. We've just not been approached, and we haven't stepped up. I think the counties are required to do so, but our city is already paying that tax as well, so we already are playing a part in it to some degree. And if they are in need of more funds, I'm sure our city would consider that. This is a city that has done nothing more than any other city I can think of to help veterans and their families and to give the recognition that they deserve.
Thank you. Ms. Filkins, same question. What would you think about the city donating or helping with the Wexford County Soldiers and Sailors Relief Fund on an annual basis?
I would agree with that premise. If we could work with the county and come up alongside of them, I think that we can provide more for our veterans, and with those services that we're providing to the veterans, it's nothing that I would ever withhold.
Thank you. I think we got all 5 questions and sort of right this time. We got the answer all 5, right? Okay. At this time, then, I would ask if you would like to make a closing remark, and at this time, I would call
asked me the question about what I wanted to see done when I was in office, so I'm going to take my last minute to talk about that a little bit. I really hope that in Cadillac we can get back to our city manager form of government. We pay a lot of money to have a city manager here in town, and he needs to be able to do his job. The city administration needs to be able to do their job. I want to be a mayor that is presiding over the meetings, and a mayor who is in charge of the goodwill and is a liaison in the community to work with industry, and that is out there promoting that growth rather than inside the chambers of the business offices seeking to find out what's going on every day. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Barnett?
I'd like to thank the committee again tonight, all veterans, and everyone that's played a part putting this debate on. I want you to know I love Cadillac. That Cadillac is my family and my home. I will fight for my family. I will fight for you if it's the right thing to do. I see a city having leaders that will tell the truth at all times. I see a city that will follow the charter and enforce its ordinance for everyone equally. I see a city that is vibrant, growing, and fiscally responsible. I see a city where we foster a community spirit of trust, a broad-based citizen involvement. I see a city of quality and efficiency, and a community of services in tune with our natural resources, open spaces, recreational areas. I see a city of dignity, diversity, and respect for all. I see a city that is getting better every day, with more jobs, more harmony, more excitement, and more fun. I'm proud that I see Cadillac as this city, as my family, and my home. I'm asking you for your vote on November 5th to be your mayor for the city for 2 more years. Thank you, Cadillac, and God bless America.
Would all of you come up front, please? I think we all have a big hand for all of them taking the time to show up. And now I'm not sure when next Steve's going to throw me out.
You're done. At this time, I'd like to thank everybody for coming. I think we counted roughly 100 people here. It's a lot more than I expected. We got this thing 6-8 months ago. We started it, but we kind of fell a little lax till about 6 weeks ago, and tried to throw this together at the last minute. With the turnout right here, and with some of my committee's permission, I think we'll try it again next year, if we have candidates running against each other. If we don't, yeah, we won't do it. I'd like to thank the incumbents and the challengers for being here. Thanks for all the cameramen and news media for being here. At this time, just some of the committee meetings that were here. I told you Doug Hall was one. Richie Harris is on my committee. Josh Remy was on it. Ray was just our mediator. He had nothing to do with this until today. Well, actually, Saturday I think it was when I faxed him the stuff. He was 6 o'clock last night. Yeah, he was out of town for 2 weeks, and I've been trying to get a hold of him, and he finally got home and gave me my return call. So I think we did a good job for him. And myself, thank you. Have a good night. If you would like to come up and meet and greet some of the candidates, you're more than welcome. We'll try it again next year. Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care, we'll see you.
Meanwhile,